game. I sure as hell didn't. Moving on to the next one, you could pretty much say the same thing. The Charlotte Hornets head to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. And the Hornets leave victorious. They win 118-107 in a game they pretty much dominated. Kemba Walker scores 22 points and 7 assists in 39 minutes, plays pretty much the entire game, but has a great performance there. Nick Batum gives you 18 points, and both Jeremy Lamb and Tony Parker off the bench give you 17 points in the victory there. On the other side, Mike Conley, 31 points, just 1 assist, though, in 36 minutes, but he does lead the way for the Memphis Grizzlies. Marc Gasol with a big triple-double, 22 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists on 8 for 15 shooting in 39 minutes. Fantastic game there for Marc Gasol. Just not enough to make the difference in this one. Jaren Jackson also gives you 15 points in the loss. All right, we move on. Detroit Pistons at the New Orleans Pelicans. In New Orleans, the Pistons win 98-94. Blake Griffin scores 37 points. I believe 20 points. Yep, 20 points in the first quarter for Blake Griffin. Not a great shooting day. 37 points on 14 for 20. Actually, that's good. Obviously, 50%. 14 from 28 from the field. 4 for 9 from downtown. He also adds 9 boards and 7 assists to go along. Basically, the only player that does anything. 2 other players in double figures for Detroit in the victory. Reggie Jackson gives you 17 points. 4 for 7 from downtown. And off the bench, John Lure gives you 11 points on 5 for 6 shooting. Kind of crazy they even won that game. Now, Anthony Davis did not play. He had, obviously, he has that finger issue. He injured his fingers. I think he's going to be out for 2 weeks or so, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but it's around there. And so in his absence, Jrue Holiday leads the way with 27 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 14 for 24 from the line. Pretty good day there. Shooting, you'd like to see him get a few more free throws, though. Jahlil Okafor at the center position gives you 17 points, 10 rebounds. Julius Randle adds 13 points and 13 rebounds also in the loss. Poor shooting performance for Niko Mirotic, 4 for 12 from the field, 3 for 6 from downtown. He's held to 11 points in this one. All right, let me look up some more of these NBA games. What is next? Whoops, wrong button. Come on. Normally I pause it at this point. All right, we move on to the LA Clippers in Miami on the second day of a road back-to-back taking on the Miami Heat. The Clippers completely control the second half and win the game 111-99. 1 second. Yeah, okay, sorry. Just had an email from my podcasting company asking if I'm ready to do some live shows. Maybe here in the near future we will. But back here we have, let's see, Tobias Harris scored 22 points in the first half, finishes the game with 31, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Good game for him. Not much else from any of the other, scoring-wise, at least from any of the other Clippers. 4 other guys, well, 5 actually. That's not true. 5 guys other than him in double figures, led by Montrezl Harrell with 16 points on 6 for 7 shooting. Fantastic there. Lou Will, true 6-man, 13 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. 12 points for Avery Bradley, and for both Marcin Gortat and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 10 points to round that out in the victory. And that's awesome. I mean, really, back-to-back road games on back-to-back nights are tough as shit. I did not expect the Clippers to win this game, especially after losing last night, but they did. For Miami, the leading scorer was Hassan Whiteside, 22 points. He added 16 rebounds to go with that, 10 for 13 from the line, nice and efficient. Josh Richardson, 17 points, just 3 for 9 from downtown, but also gives you 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Dwayne Wade off the bench, 13 points, 4 assists. All right, let's look at these other games. What haven't we gotten to? We got 2 more. 1. Did it. Gotta do it. Did it. All right, 2 more games to talk about. Let's talk about the Nuggets and the Jazz. Denver, number 2 in the West, going to Utah, taking on the number 7 team in the West. Fantastic game. Back and forth until mainly the fourth quarter when Donovan Mitchell just erupted. D. Mitch, last year's true rookie of the year, finishes with 35 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 6 for 10 from downtown. Fantastic performance from him, leading the way. A much-needed victory against one of the best teams in the NBA. Ricky Rubio adds 17 points, 6 assists, 15 points, 10 boards for likely Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, and Joe Ingles adds 14 points for you there. In the loss, Denver gets 28 points, 21 rebounds, and 6 assists out of Nikola Jokic. Just 1 for 7 from downtown for him, though. Could have really exploded if he was able to nail a couple more of those three-pointers there. Off the bench, Willie Barton, 4 for 5 from downtown, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Fantastic game off the bench for Willie Barton. Just not enough to really make the difference there. And Gary Harris as well, 16 points at the starting shooting guard position, 6 for 9 from the field. Good game there for him, just again, not enough to get it done. All right, and the final game that we're going to be talking about today is the one with the biggest scorers. We had the Houston Rockets. I'm sure you can guess where I'm headed with this. Headed to the Madison Square Garden, New York City, to take on the New York Knicks. The Houston Rockets come back to win in the fourth quarter, 114 to 110, led by 61 points from James Harden. That is James Harden's career high. That is tied for the most points scored by a visitor at Madison Square Garden. That ties Kobe Bryant, 61 points, and that's 1 point less than Carmelo's 62 points, being the most ever scored at Madison Square Garden. 61 points, he adds 15 rebounds to that, just 4 assists. For reference, the last player in the NBA to score 60 points plus and 15 rebounds plus in the same game, Shaquille O'Neal in the year 2000, 19 years ago, Shaquille O'Neal. James Harden with a big point and rebound performance here. 17 for 38 from the field, not fantastic, okay. Just 5 for 20 from downtown, pretty rough there. But gets to the line, takes 25 free throws, 20 for 25 from the line, including the dunk that seals the game after they were up by 2, and screen essentially to get Eric Gordon wide open for the 3 to take the lead. Great performance there from James Harden, really, really elevating his game, and he has the Houston Rockets 7 games above 500 right now. Eric Gordon, as I just mentioned, 3 for 5 from downtown. He adds 20 points in 37 minutes, the second best scorer there for the Houston Rockets. And then only one other person was in double figures, and that was newly acquired Kenneth Faried, 11 points, 8 rebounds. He starts in place of the injured Clint Capella and has a pretty damn good game. On the other side, for the New York Knicks, who's this guy? What's his first name? This was a good performance by, Alonzo Trier. Great performance from this guy. 33 minutes, 31 points, 10 rebounds on 12 for 18 from the field. Great game for him. Off the bench, that is, too. And as far as the starters, we've got Tim Hardaway with 21 points in 35 minutes, 4 for 8 from downtown. 14 points for Emmanuel Mudiay, really playing well so far. And Kevin Knox, the rookie, 12 points, 8 rebounds. A tough shooting day, 4 for 15 in the loss. But still rounds it out a little bit. So, that would be obviously the performance of the night. Performance of the night, I'm going to have to give to James Harden, best player in the NBA last night. What other news do we have? Obviously, Carmelo Anthony has been traded from Houston to the Chicago Bulls. It doesn't look like the Bulls are going to be actually playing him. They're probably going to look for something to do, some way to dump him. I think it was just kind of like a cash grab for them. They get a little bit of money for Houston by taking him off of their hands. Let's check out any other news here. Let's see, I got that. Got the Oladipo, Harden, talked about DeRozan. Enes Kanter, I guess, is a little bit upset about not being played. And in a more serious note regarding Enes Kanter, he has been issued, or Turkey has issued an international arrest warrant for Enes Kanter, claiming that he is a member of a terrorist group because of his opposition to the leader of Turkey, Erdogan, and Hito Turkoglu. They've had some serious issues. We know that Enes Kanter did not travel with the New York Knicks to London last week because he feared for his life that Turkish spies might kill him. Really a crazy situation going on right now, especially concerning the NBA. Hito Turkoglu, former NBA player, is the advisor to the president or the ruler of Turkey, Erdogan. It's almost an NBA beef, Turkoglu versus Enes Kanter here as well. Really scary situation. I hope that it gets resolved properly and fairly. But that is a really scary situation and something that probably needs to be monitored here in the really near future. It might be a problem. And as far as, let's talk about LeBron. LeBron is not going to be playing tonight. It's pretty much day to day at this point. I do believe Rondo is going to play, though. So right now they're going to be without Lonzo Ball, probably they said 4 to 6 weeks at first, but I heard Brian Windhorst talking about last year. I can't remember which player it was, but some player had the same grade 3 ankle sprain and missed 12 weeks. So, this may not be as quick for Lonzo as everybody is saying. Obviously, the LeBron James injury has dragged out a little bit more than what they thought. They said at first, day to day, possibly 2 weeks or so. I believe that was the Christmas game, so we're looking at a month at this point, and he's still not back. But it does look like Rondo, who hasn't played since the Christmas game, is going to play tonight. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we have in the NBA for Thursday, January 24th. 4 games. I already mentioned that one, so we'll talk about it. We have the Minnesota Timberwolves going to LA to take on the Los Angeles Lakers without LeBron. And that game is going to be at 8:30 on TNT. That'll be the second half of the TNT programming for the night. Minnesota actually a 1-point favorite on the road. I think that's probably fair. And moving on to the first game of the TNT programming tonight, we have the Golden State Warriors in Washington, Kevin Durant's hometown, to take on the Washington Wizards without John Wall, obviously out for the season. Bradley Beal will try to lead them in victory in that one. Golden State is going to be a 10-point favorite on the road in that game. They just got Boogie Cousins back. I believe he's played 2 games, played pretty well in both games. A lot of fouls, but very efficient, very athletic. Definitely a great piece for the Golden State Warriors to have picked him up. Another 6 o'clock game today. This should be an interesting one, at least. Actually, not really, now that I think about it. The New Orleans Pelicans in Oklahoma City to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City favored by 12.5. Obviously, the Pelicans are going to be without Anthony Davis, so they're going to need a lot from guys like Julius Randle and Nikola Mirotic to step up in his absence. That game is 6 o'clock. And the final game in the NBA tonight, Thursday, we have the Portland Trail Blazers in Phoenix taking on the Phoenix Suns. Portland is going to be a 7-point favorite in that one, and it looks like just about everybody is going to be playing in that game. Portland just 2 days removed from their loss in Oklahoma City. Really a tough loss there, but still 9 games over 500. All right, that's going to bring us to the end of the show for today. I'm trying to figure out a way to organize this show. I think that every Friday, which would be tomorrow, I'm going to do a standings and power rankings. Should I do that? No, let's do power rankings on Fridays, standings on top 10 power rankings, at least on Fridays. We're going to do standings on Mondays. And then also tomorrow, seeing as we're about halfway through the regular season, I'm going to do a halfway award show, giving out MVP, Rookie of the Year, all that stuff. And I'll do that just on the show tomorrow. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I enjoyed doing it. About 30 minutes, so it went a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but we had 10 games to recap. I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. I hope that this was a nice addition to your early morning. Um,